Yeah, I think if you play it, you have to be confident that you're going to take the knockout on that one. We do see the Skyford's actually gone in the discard.
Yeah, and I like that. Like, you're not really rushed into trying to do it. And if you could discard a card that's not going to help you later on in the game, because there's going to be a Skyfield ending up on the field. We know that.
Yeah, so both players have access to it. I mean,
so the person who plays the Skyfield, the other copies are essentially just useless cards.
Right, neither player wants to give the opposing player the bigger riotous beating, so they may both decide to forego it, essentially, and then it's really a case of just getting rid of it, so you're not drawing into it of Cynthia's or N's or any kind of card like that. You're never seeing it. You're not drawing into it off your trades as well.
Yeah, and we actually see it kind of like that moot point where, as you see in Jimmy's case, he has that Sudowoodo, where it stops your opponent from benching a lot of cards for their bench. But, wow. Sorry,
yeah.
This turn was just terrible for Joe.
Yeah, I mean, that turn ended very abruptly. We were expecting him, yes, he managed to Bloodthirsty Eyes, get that Sudowoodo into the active, and you're thinking, all right, he's got it there, he's going to get rid of it, get his bench back to normal, and
Hexmaniac pass.
Yeah, like, any energies? Nope, no energies for you, sir.
No.
Okay, be my guest.
Alright, so this is the game of just hex your opponent and pass.
Oh, what a thriller. I forgot what joy it was to watch just hex pass over and over again. Joe, VS Seekering for, guess what? Hexmaniac. And the pass
What
again.
A play from Joe right there.
Big play.
Choice band coming down on the Zoroark GX, or is that there's a glare. I know it's a Zoroark of some kind. And there's a Versus Seeker in Jimmy's hand. I wonder what supporter he opts to use this turn. It is kind of, like, all joking aside, the energy that Joe got last turn that he attached to the Lycanroc is very big. It could threaten a Dangerous Rogue out of nowhere.
Right. He'd be able to kind of turn it around.
He really has to look at his hand in a way that, all right, maybe I have to go for the knockout this turn. He could play a big chorus. All right, so Skyfield comes down. He can bench a couple eggs in his hand and a Tapu Lele as well. Colress, so it's not as big as it could be. Is that actually 2 Lele he benched? Like, did he bench a full 8? I think so.
I mean, he's got the Zoroark, which is caught by the reflection there. Three of those.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is. Pulls them all out.
So 11 cards off this Colress. He will need to find a Floatstone. And I'm not sure if that's a DCE on the Zoroark or just another choice band, but...
See, look how that bench management's coming into play now. He's able to get them all down and room to draw up his cards.
But who needs bench management when I don't think you draw Floatstone?
No, I mean, he's got access to his 4th Zoroark now. Going to be able to Battle Compressor as well. So, plenty of options for him there. He's actually going to be seeing if it's in the deck as well.
And one important thing to note is, looking at Joe's list, I don't think he plays the Sudowoodo with Roadblock. He just opts to forgo it because he plays a 2-1 Alolan Muck.
Yeah, you don't have the room once you commit to the Grimers and the Muck there. And also, on the flip side, if he's being caught by Roadblock, that Muck needs to be, or that spot as such, needs to become more valuable as quickly as possible. Do you see a choice band off the top there? But
that's not what he's looking for, but he will be able to use his abilities, and there is a draw supporter in N.
Yeah, that's something he needs right now.
And I was just thinking, wow, he only had that one trade. He needed to draw something off those 2 cards.
Yeah, getting a draw support is really big here. He's going to drop the Rockruff and basically try and keep going. He's not going to go to Bloodthirsty Eyes this turn, but a nice N, not just for himself to get himself out of a sticky situation, but to limit all those cards that Jimmy pulled off the Colress,
He essentially Colress for 11 and didn't play anything. Bound to have at least something in that hand.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him grab a couple things and use them right away, but overall, it's not the best Colress that he could have hoped for.
See, 2 double colorless at least from Jimmy there.
Puzzle of Time in there as well. Plenty of options.
The real question, did Joe get the double colorless for himself? Being able to claw slash take a knockout on the Sudowoodo is really big
it's
right now.
Not in the front 4. It's definitely not. A little reorder there may help.
That's unfortunate. I think we might just see another pass from Joe here.
Joe's not even launched a single attack this game. He Guzman up. He will field blower, so that Skyfield's gone. Just gonna be a bench of Zoroarks and a Lele.
It's a pretty good-looking bench right there, I'll say.
Yeah, it's silly, kind of how strong that is. As Rockruff coming up.
And then, yeah, we just see the Floatstone retreat into a sacrificial Rockruff. And I think there's 3 double colorless in Jimmy's hand right now.
Yeah, he's in a good position to start. He's just gonna
propagate.
Trade. Yeah, as you see, he's rotated them there under the discard, and he's just gonna grab 8 new cards. That is silly.
All 4 double colorless in Jimmy's hand right now.
He has no excuse for not being able to Riotous beating anymore.
And he's still like, he needs to find a way out of the active. Propagation trade, does he hit?
There's another puzzle, so he does have 2 puzzle. I'm pretty sure now. It's just kind of, picks up the discard, that would imply that he has 2.
It is important to note he only plays 1 copy of Floatstone.
Right.
And 1 Guzma. So those are his 2 ways to get this out of the active. Does he have the Guzma?
I mean, he can get it with the double puzzle if he hasn't already played one. That would be a problem. It'd be great to get it if you played one.
Could you double puzzle for Versus Seeker Battle Compressor and then... Oh, he might just have the Guzma. Yep. Guzma into this card. Bringing up that Lycanroc, and with the ability of Execute, he will be able to have enough bench to take a knockout.
Yep, I mean, that's the one energy Joe's got into play and been unable to use, so could get kind of nasty for him. We do see Jimmy does have 1 more trade remaining, rotating those for him. He actually trades the Ace Roller in this instance, because he's going to be pulling back some eggs.
It could be good, though, just to get it in the discard in case your opponent ends. And you'll be able to Versus Seeker later on in the game.
He does take the first knockout and 2 prizes as well, so this Execute Zoroark list has been going off in the past few rounds.
This is where Rule of Evil Weavile would come in handy. You do 60 to Jimmy's whole board, take 3 knockouts from the Execute, and then SP on EX next turn.
Is it colorless or a dark energy?
It's colorless.
Oh, so you can put any old.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean.
Come on, Joe, what are you doing? Should have played Weavile.
If only. I mean, literally, it'd be 3 prizes this turn, and then the next turn.
5.
All of the prizes.
4. But back to reality, where we're actually playing good Pokemon. Joe does get that Ultra Ball 4 Tapu Lele GX.
Weavile really hates Pokemon with abilities.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Both the varieties in this era have been pretty anti-Pokemon with abilities. It's been a little silly. Joe does get a Colress off.
Alright,
capitalizing on that bench.
If he doesn't get a double colorless off this Colress, something's wrong.
Something's prized, I think, is the phrase you're looking for. See, he's going in.
Oh,
but there it is.
Yeah.
It was in the last chunk that he pulls up.
And there is the one use of stand-in Zoroark over the foul play. Just being able to switch into it, take the knockout without overcommitting your bench.
I think that's probably a good play for him now, is to be able to get that in and see what he can do, you know, with that in mind. Especially with these crazy bench sizes that we're seeing now.
But again, Jimmy's hand is just enormous.
It's bigger than his deck, I'm pretty sure. It's his deck with an E that I said there, just clarification. I know my accent makes things a little bit funky at times.
Alright, Ultra Ball does finally get that Alolan Muck, and it will for sure evolve and hit play, shutting off all basic abilities. That means no more propagation.
I mean, they're now on the bench for for dealing damage. That's
he actually chooses not to evolve it, so kind of valuing drawing into like maybe a Tapu Lele or something like that more.
Right. That's nice. I mean, but now they're on the bench, that he's probably just going to leave them there.
Yeah.
So one of the key things he's worried about is out of the field anyway.
It is gonna come back to bite him if he doesn't get a knockout on this Zoroark, just because Mind Jack is so good, especially when your opponent has 3 executes on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, he wants the extra damage for his own Riotous beating, but at the same time, Mind Jack is hurting him.
Here we see an Ultra Ball coming down from Jimmy. Does he even have anything in his deck to get? No. His deck has 5 cards.
Yeah, he's got a VS Seeker, a Puzzle of Time, Field Blower.
Hey, there's that Floatstone he was looking for
Yeah, the
earlier.
one he couldn't get off an 11-card Colress. It was still not there.
Yep, alright. Fail the search.
I mean, I think he knows there's nothing left. He's got all his Zoroark.
Well, all of it's in his hand.
Yeah. Just play the old switcheroo there and see what's in there. Joe's also taking a look through his discard, so. Resource management, I mean, Jimmy's done what Zoroark does and drawn through your deck. He's played his whole deck.
Yeah.
But at the same time, while he's done that, he's not taken as many knockouts as he maybe would have liked.
Yeah, you kind of have to do this balancing act of, alright, well, I discarded a lot of cards to trade that hopefully I don't need late game, but if I do, then I have to try to figure out a way to deal with that.
Yep. He's just got to keep things managed. He's going to VS Seeker, or it looks like he's going to VS Seeker here. Probably just wanting to check what supporters he has available exactly, just so he can. I think his supporter play over the next couple of turns actually is going to be big to make sure that he doesn't accidentally deck out.
So you have a few different choices. N is one of the ones that helps you not deck out.
Yeah, I mean, he has 10 cards plus in hand.
Yeah, but
so
if you think about it in the way the matchup goes, Hex is always a very good card against shutting down your opponent's Zoroarks. But then even like a Chorus later on to try to get more cards, because you're ending yourself, shuffling back in, drawing 4. Granted, he does have 3 Zoroark in play, but he still will need to find double colorless. He'll still need to find those double puzzles, which I think he actually just drew double puzzle off at end of 4.
Right, he's looking at the discard again, so he's not going to play anything this turn. He's just going to take another knockout. This time, though, it's on, as somebody referred to it, the baby Zoroark.
Yeah,
so he's going to end up in that awkward
prize
position where he now still has to take 2 knockouts to get there. So overall, he ends up taking more knockouts across the course of the game.
But action is back on Joe to see if he can actually take this knockout. He took the first knockout before just because stand-in Zoroark is so good against the mirror.
Yep, he's
like,
gonna play
you got a lot of bench. All right.
Yeah,
I'll take a knockout.
Yeah, he's taking the Pokemon communication there. Have a little look around. See what he wants to get. He's gonna get the Alolan Muck before Colressing. So finally getting the lock-in play with the Alolan Muck.
Yeah, but remember, he still needs double colorless and 4 more Pokemon to take a knockout on this Zoroark GX.
It's a little bit of an ask. It's certainly not the easiest, but
all right, let's see though.
You can try for it. Looks a little lightweight on the old Pokemon counts there. There's 1.
There's 2.
Oh, Oricorio.
3.
Oh. It's tense. He might have a search option in his hand. Discards with the trade.
Was that it? Or is that a Zoroark?
He's gonna double puzzle.
Okay.
There it is. Grab that Zorua from earlier.
So with that, he will be able to take a knockout. Because remember, all he needs is double colorless and another Pokemon.
Which, he'll be able to find. He's just choosing which one, I think. Go for a Rockruff, maybe try and get a Lycanroc play available to him, or, you know...
Is there no Pokemon in there? Did he shuffle it back in or something like Rescue Stretcher?
Not since that Zorua, I'm pretty sure. I think he's just double checking that it's the premium play. He's actually going to grab Choice Band off the puzzle, so maybe another way to get around that lack of Pokemon.
Well, he already has the Choice Band attached. You need the Choice Band and the full bench.
Ooh, he's struggling there.
Okay, computer search.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's just slow rolling the stream. He's like, I've had it.
Yeah. Just wants to make sure.
Alright, computer search does get that Zorua. And
it's off the screen.
See, the bench management, man.
I tell you, if he'd have like lined them up, they're all skew-if and somebody needs to have a word. His discard's off the screen now. It's nuts. I'm meant to know what's on top. See, look at this. Jimmy, 2 orderly rows. Joe, 1. I don't even know if I could call that a row of 8. An assortment of cards.
But that assortment of cards does allow Joe to take the knockout on Zoroark GX. And putting himself down to 2 prizes to Jimmy's 3. So essentially taking the lead now because Joe played that 7-prize game with Jimmy.
Yeah, I think that's really nice that he's been able to do that. I mean, honestly, Jimmy could knock him out in return potentially. He has that option, but then if he just leaves it active and Joe can do the exact same thing back, then he's in a good position. I will say that on Joe's side, he only has that 1 Zoroark. There's actually a Zoroark right now. So he is going to be kind of hard-pressed to do it, but depending on what he drew off the prizes, depending on what he already had in hand, there's certainly outs.
But hey, the really sneaky play right here is how many Pokemon are in Jimmy's discard. You got 3 Pokemon that have 30 HP on Jimmy's bench. Joe, he has a cute little Oricorio just sitting there. He's already knocked out 2 Zoroarks. That means there's 4 Pokemon in the discard.
Guaranteed.
If there's another egg, that's 5.
Plus...
If there's like maybe a Lele or a Shaman that somehow snuck in there. Yeah, he's knocked out a few Pokemon.
I thought the Oricorio had been discarded earlier, but apparently Jimmy's hanging on to it. I think that might be something he's a little nervous about right now. I'm trying to get a peep. See,
a peep?
Yeah, can I have a look, please? If I ask him, then I'm allowed to look. If I reach over the table, that's rude and shouldn't be done. I think Jimmy might want to have a look through, because that's kind of nerve-wracking right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole question is how many Pokemon are in Jimmy's discard.
Yeah. I'm sure he knows, but
yeah.
I'd probably double check.
Oh, here's double puzzle. He could just pick up 2 Pokemon.
And block that play entirely. Yeah, he's pulled Zorua up.
Oh, remember, he doesn't have that much deck left either.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, there's
a Shaman.
There's something else in the discard.
What is going on?
Ooh, even more.
Ugh.
Can you even pick up enough to stop the 2 prizes?
I don't know. He's taken a VS Seeker, so playing the VS Seeker immediately.
Where's the Brock's Grit when you need it?
Oh, such a good card.
Says the Vikabulu player.
Yeah, it's like energy retrieval, but better. You can grab everything with it.
Alright, well, there's Choice Band on the Zorua. VS Seeker for Colress.
Is he going for it? I really hope he is.
Going for the harder knockouts.
Is he going for the big boy knockout?
Yeah, the big boy knockout.
I think he's shuffling.
He's drawing
his whole deck. I think he's drawing
15 cards.
Just shy of his whole deck. Oh.
Double colorless Zoroark.
Oh lord.
He needs what, 1 Pokemon now? There's Execute. I think that's it.
Yep, this could be it.
He drew his whole deck.
Yeah, he literally has to win this turn.
Double puzzle.
Yeah. Yep, there it is. That's a big play.
I wanted to see an Oricorio play.
I was so excited about the Oricorio potential. But, you know, if you've got the guaranteed win in hand.
Yeah.
When you can draw literally a quarter of your deck back at the last turn to close out, that is insanity.
Yeah, but it's not as spicy as just going supernatural dance like 3 executes.
I just spread it across right
Yeah.
there.
It's basically the same play as Rule of Evil Weavile. I just wanted it to happen. But
You just want bench knockouts, don't you?
yeah, Zorark's just too good of a card, and it's able to just come back from having no Zorarks in play to, yeah, I'm going to Colress for 15, draw my entire deck, and then just get everything I need.
We talked about the Skyfield early on, and we said, well, Skyfield would be great because kind of slows things down, you know. But once the Skyfield got into play, I think it was actually Joe who was able to capitalize off it better.
Exactly, and it's all through that Alolan Muck.
Right.
Just being able to shut off the Sudowoodo and then not having to worry about it for the rest of the game. Like, what the out to Sudowoodo is the Hex and then play a bunch of eggs. The out to Alolan Muck is
just sigh about
pass?
it and hope it leaves. Yeah.
Guzma later, then you're playing the 7 prize game again.
Well, that was a big thing as well.
Yeah.
Is that, yes, he stopped the stand-in Zoroark from being a huge problem, but then he was, if you notice at the end, sat on a single prize.
And then here we go, game 2.
Ooh.
Jimmy starts to execute. That's also another problem with this deck. It plays 4 of these cards, so you're bound to start with it a few times.
Yeah, you're pretty much, over the course of a tournament, guaranteed a couple rounds of it. We see Ultra Ball discarding Skyfield and Execute again. So getting something a little more valuable into play on Jimmy's side of the field.
Yeah, we will see a Tapu Lele here getting the Bridget for what I believe would be 3 Zorua. He could also be eyeing that Sudowoodo, but it depends. Just because Sudowoodo is kind of useless once your opponent gets Muck into play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good early starter to force the Muck to come out earlier, but overall it's, it's a little more looking for the long game. I think if you go Zoruas, then you can get into the position he was in game 1 where it was just pure Zoroark early on. He was trading for 8s a turn. It was really, really wise.
Yeah, but here he opts for that Sudowoodo, and unfortunately for Joe, he's not playing the Lunge Zorua. He decided to bling out his deck a little bit and go for the Paralyzing Gaze, or else a Lunge could take a knockout on this Execute.
If only he'd gone for it, gone for the newer card.
I know, right?
Decided to go for the new hotness instead of old and busted.
And we actually saw he puzzle time, look at the top 3, rearrange them, just so he could Shaman for 1 or 2. But it got him an extra Zorua and a Chorus.
Well worth it. So
well
worth it. It's not often that we see that play and say it was worth it. But I mean, Jimmy's bench, again, is so full. You've got to look at Joe at his side and say, look, can you match it again and keep up? Because that was something that he kind of struggled with a little bit in game 1, but still got there in the end.
Well, hey, who needs Bridget when you just have 3 Zorua naturally?
Just through that draw support, you get there in the end. It's a lot easier to play it that way. Joe on another one of those kind of tears through his deck, just making sure he gets everything he needs. He's gone for it.
Paralyzing Gaze.
That Execute's not going anywhere. You stay there in the active, unable to retreat.
You know, if only Jimmy had some way to get out of it, like an Executor.
Evolution. If he evolved to clear those status conditions, oh boy, would Joe be in trouble.
Or an escape board. Does that?
Yeah. It ignores the conditions. That's a new card from Ultra Prism. I mean, it's so hard to justify it. It's so difficult, especially with all the tools they have available, like wide lens.
Yeah. All right, here we see Zoroark GX coming down onto the field. Battle Compressor, discarding a bunch of Execute, most likely.
Yep, they're on the front of the deck. That's where they're going to go.
It's kind of interesting to see how Execute also just shot up in price and has been like one of those chase cards that everyone needs now.
Yeah. Then you've got to go find the older sets to procure them.
If you want the golden one, it's like $40.
Who's buying golden Executes? I mean, I don't know. I don't. Dark Explorers is where this Saru is from. If you want to go rip in packs of Dark Explorers, be my guest.
I mean, hey.
It's a good set.
It's a good set.
Yeah. Like, let's talk about Dark Explorers for a second.
All right, we actually see the Battle Compressor getting, I think, 2 eggs and a Getsus. Could we see a Getsus this turn? Yes!
Yep, there's the VS Seeker as he's shuffling around. Joe kind of...
Granted, it was not followed by a red card, and oh...
It's supposed to red card first.
That's not what you want to see. Your opponent has a double colorless and just a colorless for a bunch of cards next turn.
You've just filled your bench, and then you get this and reveal your opponent's about to punish you for it. Oh, I got rid of the Ultra Ball, which you probably weren't going to play anyway because you don't have either thing you can discard.
Eggs.
Yeah.
You have 1.
And the other 2 cards are just so good, you're not going to discard one of them.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just going to attach double colorless, do whatever with the other card from the draw, and then colorless.
But he does have that stand-in Zoroark, able to get out of that paralysis and take the knockout on the Zorua.
He really showed him there.
Oh, Rockruff.
There's the Rockruff off the top. And, yeah, Colress. Nice sizable Colress there for a...
Yeah, again, 8 cards. Sitting pretty right now.
It's better than Cynthia.
That is technically better than Cynthia.
Yeah, in this instance, it's
no,
better
I
than
think
Cynthia.
Colress is better than Cynthia anyway. Like, there's a reason these Zoroark decks are now running 3 Colress. They would probably run 4, but I think they just don't need to because of Versus Seeker.
Yeah, I mean, come back to me when Cynthia draws you 15 cards. Be my guest. In Standard, though, it's a very, very good card.
Oh, yeah, in Standard, Cynthia is definitely a lot better than Colress.
Of course, there's an expanded regional, and that's why we're seeing all kinds of craziness.
And, of course, in Standard, Colress is not legal.
That is another limiting factor with Colress in Standard format play.
Alright, he does get the Zoroark down, and with 5 Pokemon total in play, that is enough to take the knockout on this stand-in Zoroark.
But now Joe's playing the 7 prize game. Fortunately for him...
They're both playing the 7 prize game.
Yeah, it's... I mean, there's a nice execute on the bench to try and level that up.
Oricorio, man, I'm telling you.
Oh, you're so... I would love to see it.
It's such a sneaky supernatural dance that you really don't see it coming. I think the only way Jimmy saw it like coming a little bit was he had his Oricorio in his hand. He's like, oh yeah, it does that attack. Like,
wait.
I'm not playing against Night March and it's still useful?
Yeah, I mean, it undeniably is. It's if it's able to pick up multiple knockouts a turn and it's a single prize attacker in its own right, then why not? You know?
Yeah.
You should be more than able to consider it playable. Night March really hasn't been that popular.
It really just died down to popularity thanks to Zoroark.
Right.
But it's not even really Zoroark that caused it. It's the fact that the original version of this Lonzo, this Zoroark deck, it played a Seismitoad, played a Karen.
Right.
And it played Oricorio as well. Like, it just played it's so easy to tech into this deck to cover all your bases.
2 cards.
Night March loses to really just a single Oricorio by itself.
Yeah.
It also loses to Hex Maniac. And the fact that this deck plays all of those cards, that you don't even need Seismitoad or Karen to beat Night March now.
Yeah, you're pretty much set from the get-go.
Yeah.
I mean, put in your Oricorio, problem solved. There's Pokemon Communication from Joe. We grab something a little more valuable there. Actually going to grab a Zorua.
And then Versus Seeker for another big Colress.
There it is. Still drawing 10.
Yeah, and for those of you asking, well, how can he bench that Zorua when his opponent has Sudowoodo in play? It's because Jimmy played a Hex Maniac last turn.
Yep, I mean, getting rid of those abilities is what he wants.
Yeah, and a good thing to point out, there's no Skyfield in play as well.
No, I think Jimmy, I mean, holding on to it after seeing what happened to him at the end of last game because of Skyfield.
Yeah.
Definitely not going to make that mistake again. Without being confident, it's pretty much going to win him the game. We do see Joe with the big hand there, mulling it over. He's got a puzzle on the front.
Well, energy came down on the Rockruff, so he will try to threaten that dangerous rogue again. Remember, these decks don't really use a GX attack.
Right, there's double puzzle.
Trying to play around your opponent's dangerous rogue, it's essentially 2 energies, I can knock out whatever I want for a turn.
Yeah, it's a fair trade to me.
Yeah.
It's a deal.
Yeah. Done.
Yep. The Skyfield does actually come out off the double puzzle there from Joe, so looking to make some big plays with the Riotous beating. But lacking a little bit in the Pokemon.
Yeah, so he still needs a lot for this knockout. He got the Skyfield, but he still needs 3 Pokemon and a Choice Band as well.
Hope you learned his lesson about bench management.
And then the thing you have to think about, after this turn, Hexmaniac loses its ability. So he's going to have to discard 4 Pokemon, or 3 Pokemon.
Well, I can see the Shaman going away. That'd be a big one.
Shaman, or a Choreo, and a Grimer?
Yep. Does appear that the Hexmaniac has been... Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Joe just telling his opponent, hold up, I gotta clear up my bench. And give it to
Oricorio went in the discard.
Brave Oricorio. Mulling it over between the last 2. He's going to keep 2 Zorua, the Grimer, and the Rockruff on the bench with his Zoroark GX in the active. So a big play, though, off the Skyfield. I think Joe wants to get a step closer to the win.
Yeah.
If he had the opportunity for a knockout on one of the Pokemon that Jimmy had committed a lot of resources to, yeah, it was worth taking it. Even if at the end of the turn, he did have to go back a step.
Yeah. Well, it's also the fact that it was the lone Zoroark that Jimmy had in play. His Zoroark's getting knocked out on this turn, so he really kind of needed to
level it up.
Push it all out because, yeah, I'm going to lose this next turn. Might as well do it.
Yeah, I mean, he committed everything to the heavily damaged. I mean, 150 damage down on that Zoroark on Joe's side of the field. So with all of that in mind, it just seemed that, yeah, that was the only play to make. Once he had to put double colorless on it, had to be done, really.
Yeah, and to be fair, his game plan right now is pretty simple. It's, I'm all in on Lycanroc.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he can put Rockruff in the active the next turn, or after this knockout, and then go for it with a Bloodthirsty Eyes, pull something up.
Yeah, if he gets the Lycanroc double colorless, he could actually Bloodthirsty Eyes the Zoroark GX, take the knockout with Claw Slash, and then next turn, take a knockout with Dangerous Rogue GX for game.
Yep. On pretty much anything as well. We do see the Compressor from Jimmy's side of the field, so getting rid of a Bridget is one thing he doesn't need. An Acerola also going in. So plenty of options there for the VS Seekers that he'll be playing a little later in the game. And a Chorus of his own. He's seen Joe play enough Choruses to realize it's probably pretty valuable right now. Overall, something you want to be doing. So it wouldn't shock me to see VS Seekers some point. He does have double puzzle in hand after he benches the Zorua. He's going to make his first trade. Picking up, looks like a Choice Band. And no big plays that time, just taking the knockout.
All right, so here we go. I think that was a Lycanroc off the top of the deck.
It could be. We see Joe just mulling over his choices, clearing up the damage a little bit there. So kind of them to put it off screen.
The question is, does he have access to double colorless?
I think that's what he's looking through. He goes for the Rescue Stretcher. So that'll get him a look. We'll take up with Lele to fill that now available spot. Yeah, we see what you're getting at, Joe. We know you really like Colress.
Honestly, any Zoroark deck really likes Colress.
Yep. There's the dangerous Bloodthirsty Eyes, my apologies, to get the Zoroark in the active. And immediately he starts fishing for double colorless energy. Put a little bait out with the Colress and see what you can pull up.
Drawing 11 cards 10 cards right now.
Yep. As many as 10.
Does he hit the double colorless? I did not see it, but he does have a few more looks with Zoroark GX.
Yep, he's going to be able to trade and miss it.
Does he have another Zoroark?
I don't think so. He may have an Ultra Ball.
Oh,
there it is. Oh. Oh, will he, won't he? There's the next trade.
Double colorless? No!
Execute. Not what you want. Maybe falls into a more defensive play. We see him pull the red card to the front of his hand. Ready to...
Can you red card yourself? If only, right?
I will activate this red card on me to try again. He does have Ultra Ball, so...
Could see the Alolan Muck come out and look at both double colorless were essentially at the bottom of his deck.
Right, needs to have as many opportunities to shuffle up and get them out of there, really. See what Joe wants to get with the Ultra Ball.
Man, this is really unfortunate, especially since he brought up the Zoroark too. Not even to hit another fighting energy, to just even Dangerous Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, he went all in and not finding an energy. He does grab the Alolan Mark, so it's going to turn off some abilities over on Jimmy's side of the field. Maybe just like buy him a turn. That's really all he needs. It's just one more turn.
Yeah, but I think he's still at 3 prizes. Am I wrong, or?
Yes, he is. He will still need 2 knockouts. He was kind of lining up with the Zoroark GX, and then anything else.
You know what helps get 2 prizes out?
Oricorio.
Oricorio.
I mean, he does have access to some puzzles. So.
There is the red card. Execute going back in Joe's hand because he's about to play that Alolan Muck, shutting off all basic abilities in play in the discard and in your hand. Field Blower on the Sky Field. Jimmy actually deciding what to keep. Chooses to keep the Execute.
Well, it's something he values there.
And hey, look, 4 Pokemon in the discard right now. I'm watching out for it, man. I'm doing it.
And we saw him discard it earlier after the...
I know.
But he does have access.
I'm holding out hope.
I think Joe has another double puzzle play available to him. So, could be an option for him.
But missing that energy, it's really going to open up this door wide open for Jimmy this turn.
Yeah, I think Jimmy was expecting to lose that Zoroark. And the fact that he hasn't has kept him very much alive in this one. That said, Joe will have another opportunity to go hunting for double colorless energy, and that'll be big for him.
So it's interesting to see. I don't think Jimmy has double puzzle in his hand just yet. He's trying to see what he wants to discard. He does have at least 1 puzzle, a Choice Band, the Oricorio in his hand as well, along with the Skyfield. But most of those cards you kind of need. You don't have that propagation trade option anymore for you.
Yep, well, it looks like Jimmy's just going to be going in. We do see a potential Oricorio.
Oh, and there's the Cynthia. All right.
He's got to get some damage out right now, and that's one of the key ways to do it. Like you say, he can't propagate.
Yeah.
To just pull the eggs back like he usually would.
So he needs 2 Pokemon and a double colorless off the Cynthia for 6.
It's a bit of an ask, especially when you look at just how much is on there. It's got to be 2 basics that he can play right down.
All right, this is a big 6 cards for Jimmy to try to come back in this game.
Puzzles would do it too.
I don't even...
Ultra Ball.
Zorua.
And a Zoroark.
Is that it?
Is that it?
I don't think I see much of anything else.
See an Ultra Ball?
There's a Shaman in his discard. If he has another one in his deck. Okay, second trade.
Oh.
Puzzle.
Oh. Now that's a big play.
The good old Michael Pramwat. Just trade in the double puzzle.
Trade puzzle. Yeah, you actually can't miss when you do that.
Oh, no.
That's a juicy play. That's what a lot of players like to see.
Now he's like, can I red card you too?
Should I red card and get this you? Unfortunately, you can't get this because he's already Cynthia'd, but...
Have a Magnezone in play. 2 supporters turn.
Easy. Just get a Magnezone in play.
Now, he still has another Pokemon in hand, right?
He only has room for one more.
Well, he has that Ultra Ball in hand, but I don't know if he has just a regular basic.
Well, I think that's what he's deciding on, what he gets out with these puzzles.
Yeah.
Taking the egg is the safe play here. Does go for the double colorless as well. I think the red card was tempting, but probably not the safest play overall.
Probably not safest, and it kind of like forces you to discard your hand for an Ultra Ball. And there we go, Riotous beating down to 1 prize again. This is the same position he was in last game, but last game Joe only had 2 to his 1, whereas now it's 3 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing here, the only way Joe gets out of this game is he's got to do 2 things in this turn. A, he's got to knock out the active Zoroark, and B, he's got to limit Jimmy's hand, which he knows has the double colorless in, from just dropping another Riotous beating.
Exactly, but that's such a big ask when you played so many Pokemon just to get discarded by Sudowoodo just to take a knockout earlier in the game.
Yep. I mean, that's going to be a problem for him. But you do see Joe, looks like he's going to maybe try and fill his bench a little bit, but he realizes he can't because of the roadblock.
Well, no, he can. He has the Alolan Muck out.
Yeah. Oh, my apologies. He does VS Seeker.
Oh, can he deck him out with Bunnelby? That is a no.
That's a hard pass on the Bunnelby deck out. There's nothing left in his hand that he actually wants to play right now. So it's back to Joe's favorite move.
Oh, you mean
Colress.
Colress?
Yeah, Colress for over 10. It's going to wind up as a solid 12 card Colress.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's acceptable.
Yeah. It was like, I was kind of getting tired of these 9s.
I'm not impressed by a single figure Colress.
Oh, yeah,
if you single figure Colress, I'm not impressed. A 10 to 12, anything up of a 12, like pushing a 15, yeah, that's a Colress. That's where I'm at with it now.
That's a spicy Colress.
Yeah, once you've seen the best Colress, I won't tolerate a single figures. I understand these players are better than me, but come on, show me the good Colress.
Granted, he drew, I think, everything but 1 card. Is the 1 card in his deck the one he needs? Because that would be heartbreaking.
He's going to communication.
Watch the 1 card be double colorless. Oh, no, okay, it's not. I don't know, I like drama.
He's offered the 2 card cut to his opponent.
Right now, Joe has more prize cards than his deck. There is the game.
Yeah, Joe realizing no way out of this one.
And look at them just messily cleaning up all their cards. They have too many cards in play. These Zoroark mirror matches have too many cards in play.
Zoroark Skyfield mirrors are too much. I want to see bench organization. This is what I want from Game 3, Jeremy. I want organized benches. I want 15 card Colresses. I want good, clean fun.
And not missing double colorlesses.
That too, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, the missed double colorless, the game really boils down to that one turn, because both of them were kind of level on the prizes coming in. And, hey, you missed the double colorless, you weren't able to take the knockout on the Lycanroc, so, yeah.
I think one thing the players are hoping for in this game is more time.
Yes, I mean,
those first 2 games took a while.
Yeah, those games, well, both of them spent a good 2-3 turns apiece just going for it.
Yeah.
And filling up their bench, getting Skyfields into play, all the good stuff. We're going to see Turbo Joe playing at lightning speed with the quickest Bridget I think I've ever seen.
Except for, Tords.
I think that's the race. I think that's now the bar. The Guinness World Record for quickest Bridget in tournament play
is Tord.
I don't know. I know some of the guys at Guinness. Maybe we can get that checked.
I think we should.
I'll look into it when I get back to the office. But, I mean, the timer in the round is actually, thank you to a little bit of information from our judges, just below 2 minutes. Now, I understand how quickly they're playing, but I don't think we're getting a resolution in this one.
Basically, if Jimmy can pull a Bridget off this turn, it will guarantee the tie.
Yep.
It's kind of impossible to take a few knockouts. Actually, a funny thing he could do is just Battle Compressor for 3 executes and bench 3 executes.
Oh, yeah. There's one. There's two. Check the hand.
Get the Bridget and just first Seeker Bridget. No.
There's three.
Well, it's essentially a Bridget, just for 3 executes.
I think I've got a feeling that Jimmy knows. He's one of the last games playing in the hall here today, and has kind of just said, well, yeah, I'm just going to propagate them to the discard. He's going to stack them all up.
Red card
Joe.
And we're going to see a Getsus as well.
Oh, no. It doesn't matter, but it's at least an exciting game 3. The big plays are coming out. Doesn't mean they're going to count for anything, but they're big plays.
Yeah. If it was like the other way around, if Joe red card gets us Jimmy, then maybe we could actually see a finish to this game.
Yeah,
but to be fair, Jimmy could still not draw a Pokemon off this Getsus. Ooh, Bridget Skyfield. Showing him the 2 cards draws. Oh, that's another egg. And a Zorua as well.
Yeah, there's really not a way for it. He's attaching, potentially attaching to the Zorua. This player's playing at top speed now, just trying to see if there's a way. I think they may think there's like nearer 10 minutes left, and if there is, they might actually be able to complete this game, but realistically not happening, as we see a second Bridget from Joe.
Yeah, I mean, if the only way you can lose is to not have basic Pokemon in play, let's get basic Pokemon in play.
Right, time has been called in the round, so really simply, both players will know kind of their fate in this one. It's actually not been called just yet, I don't think. I think my timing may be a couple of seconds off. As you can see by the hand gestures of a man who works in an Italian restaurant, it looks like they're going to either have more wine or tie this game.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm leaning towards tying this game, but more wine could be an option.
It looks kind of like a sales pitch, you know? Like when you get the pushy salesman at the airport, he's like, do you need new leathers? I haven't been
Do you need new leathers?
Okay, I haven't been to the
ladies.
airport since the 50s. Unfortunately, we know how this game goes, and yeah, it's pretty much both players just buying time. The discussion, look,
Like,
the discussions.
that's a spicy meatball. Like,
The discussions are so handsy, Jeremy. Look at them.
I mean, that's all we can see. Like, we don't see their faces. They're probably talking, but
Oh, I imagine they're also talking along with this, but yeah, no real way to take 6 prizes in the next couple turns. How do you feel? Well, once we've seen the matchup, I mean, once we kind of wind this game down, now we've seen this matchup between the Lon Zoroark and the Zoroark Lycanroc. Do you feel there's one clear winner, or do you think it purely comes down to play on a who edges this matchup? Because you'd think if you have a fighting type against a pure Zoroark deck, you should win. But it's not the case.
The way I've seen these few games play out, Joe's deck is very good against the mirror. That 2-1 Alolan Muck, the 2-2 Lycanroc, it grants you a lot of play, being able to just shut off your opponent's executes and get rid of, because you inherently play less basic Pokemon because you have 4 executes in your deck. Meanwhile, Joe, he just plays a bunch of Pokemon, so they each have their own like weaknesses, but I think the one weakness for Joe this match has been not hitting energy when he needs to.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in game 2. He missed a double colorless at a time that he literally needed energy to win the game.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to come back from that.
And I think you actually see here, like, yeah, I'm pretty much set up. I think I'm gonna win this game. Especially with that red card gets us kind of just leaving Joe with nothing.
Yep, we see some more play.
Paralyzing Gaze.
It's happening. It is happening, actually. I wasn't even joking. Insert the gif of Bill O'Reilly with the neon background waving his arms. A classic.
And there we see the Guzma in his hand. Just another way to just take apart Joe's setup this game. Double A computer search as well. Looking for that third Zoroark. This is all right. Trade again. Guzma on the Grimer. Joe's gonna be left with essentially nothing.
There appears to be a small amount of confusion about when the time was called for them. I think they've just shook hands.
So it could be Joe agreeing like, yeah, you're going to win this game anyway. And take the concession.
Well, we'll just get confirmation real quick.